Mr. Bean is often remembered as a man who made the world laugh without speaking, but the real story behind him is not comedy. It is survival, pain, rejection, and quiet courage stretched across a lifetime. Because before Mr. Bean ever existed, there was Rowan Atkinson, a boy who struggled to speak, a child trapped inside his own mouth due to a severe stammer that made every word feel like a fight he was destined to lose, and in classrooms where confidence was rewarded and silence was mocked. Rowan learned that staying quiet was safer than being humiliated, that swallowing words hurt less than watching people smile awkwardly while waiting for him to finish a sentence. And this silence didn't make him empty. It made him observant. It made him study faces, movements, pauses, the tiny details of human behavior that others ignored, and slowly he realized something powerful and tragic at the same time, that people listen more carefully when you don't speak, that expressions can say what language never could, and from that realization Mr. Bean was born, not as a joke, but as a reflection of a man who learned to exist without being heard. Mr. Bean doesn't talk much because he was never given the space to. He doesn't explain himself because no one ever asked. He walks through the world slightly late, slightly off, always misunderstood, always tolerated, but never truly welcomed, and that's why he lives alone, eats alone, celebrates alone, because loneliness is not something he fears. It is something he knows too well, and his teddy bear is not a prop or a gag, but an emotional lifeline, the only companion that cannot interrupt, judge, abandon, or laugh at him when he fails. And every time Mr. Bean falls, embarrasses himself, or breaks social rules, the audience laughs. But what they are really witnessing is a man trying to survive in a society that never taught him how to belong. A man whose mistakes are funny only because they are painfully human, because they come from confusion, not stupidity, innocence, not arrogance. And as the character grew famous across the world, crossing borders, cultures, and languages without subtitles, Rowan Atkinson carried a heavy truth behind the scenes, that the character people adored was born from wounds they would never see, that Mr. Bean was his shield against a world that once rejected his voice. And yet, fame did not heal everything, because being loved for a character is not the same as being understood as a person. And Rowan slowly realized that if he kept repeating Mr. Bean forever, the silence that once protected him might start to trap him again. So he stepped back, not out of hate, but out of respect, letting Mr. Bean remain pure, untouched, frozen in time as a symbol rather than noise. And today, decades later, Mr. Bean still matters not because he is funny, but because he is honest. Because in his silence, we see our own unspoken fears. In his loneliness, we recognize our own quiet nights. In his smile, we understand the strength it takes to keep going when no one claps for you. And the real emotional truth of Mr. Bean is this, that not everyone who makes you laugh is happy. Not everyone who is silent is weak. And sometimes the strongest people in the room are the ones who learn to turn their pain into laughter, not to entertain the world, but simply to survive it. But here's the truth no one talks about. Mr. Bean was never meant to make you laugh. He was meant to make you feel seen. And if his silence ever touched your heart, then maybe the joke was never him. Maybe it was us.